This next one I want to give you actually comes from the Kabbalah. And this is a book of Jewish mysticism. If you saw Russell Crowe's version of Noah, that was taken from the Kabbalah, not the Genesis account. A lot of evangelicals got all spun up because they're like, this isn't the Genesis account. Well, it wasn't supposed to be. This is from the Kabbalah, which is a collection of mystical writings, probably from the 7th to the 14th century AD. But it goes back even older. So in the Kabbalah, this represents God, the totality of reality. There is nothing outside of God. But remember, God is pure light. Okay. So because of God's glory is so great that even if he tried to create something, you wouldn't even be able to see it because of his glory. So the first thing God has to do is to separate the light from the darkness. So God actually has to create like a cosmic womb within himself. And it's like a shroud, like a huge black blanket or covering. But otherwise, his glory would simply consume us. And so God separates the light, his glory, from the darkness. But then, out of this darkness, this is the world that we know. This is the world of this and that. Light, darkness, male, female, water, dry land, separating these sorts of things. This is the world of good and evil. This is beyond good and evil. This is just the realm of pure light, pure glory, but so much so, nothing else can exist there besides God. So God makes this world, and then on this world, so we have the sun, moon, and stars, all of that down here, and then on this world we have people, coffee mugs, and trees. I love this view so much because it gets away from, I don't know if you've seen our old school seal. It probably, if you Google some old Christian Heritage College sites, you'll see it, but it's like it's got this disembodied hand holding a globe. And it's this idea of this God that's kind of like out there. It's how I learned about God as a kid in Sunday school. We'd have flannel graph boards, right? And you'd have this big cosmic Jesus, and the planets were like his playground equipment, like playing dodgeball with the sun, moon, stars, all that stuff. But do you see what weird idea that gets you of God? And even songs we sang in Sunday school, like, somewhere in outer space, God has prepared a place for those who trust him and obey. And you get this idea as a little kid that there's like this brick wall at the end of the universe, and somewhere behind that is where God lives. And that is not how it is at all. What the Kabbalah is telling us is, no, God's not out there beyond the cosmos, but we are actually in God, including the cosmos. You guys saw Men in Black, right? And like the whole galaxy was on that little marble around the cat's necklace. That's how I think about the universe all the time. For all I know, our whole universe could be nothing more than like a little ball in some water closet in God's summer house or something. I mean, it's just so weird to think in those terms. But this is even more personal. We are inside the very being of God himself. That's why you could destroy the entire cosmos and God would not be diminished in the least. Or if you're a pantheist, if you destroy the cosmos, you destroy God. Here, the cosmos is just taking place within God. But God wants to know his creation. But how can this creature of light go down into this fragile world of semi-darkness? Well, the Kabbalists believe God does this by making a transformer called the Tree of Life. And in this we have what's called the 10 Sephirot. And these 10 Sephirot cascade down and are interconnected. And it is literally like a transformer where God brings the charge down. I got 510. And he brings his glory in, and now he can come down and interact with the physical material world. The Kabbalists believe, though, as God was trying to come down and interact with the world, everything was going fine, but then it started to shatter these rungs of the transformer, and so it cast light and darkness were spread throughout the world. And part of the task of the Jewish people is to gather up the light in the world and to bring it together. And that was that opening scene in the Noah movie where Noah's out there and they're mining stuff. They're mining light, little like material constructs of light for symbology. So interesting. And if you remember also, Adam and Eve are beings of light in that movie before the fall. They haven't been encased. Those rock monsters are spirits who God has cursed and bound in material form because they were helping humans. Fascinating. So in this view, right now in this room, you are in God. We exist in God. Whither shall I go from thy presence? If I go to the ends of the earth, thou art there. If I go to the depths of hell, thou art there. There is no place you can go outside of or separate from God. I love this account. I think it really highlights the immanence of God, but it doesn't take away from his transcendence as well.